Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nur Shafika. This video is about inspirational architect. I would like to share my inspired architect who is Oscar Niemeyer. So, who was Oscar Niemeyer? His name is traveled in urban planning, Picasso of concrete, Brazil created architect, and a concrete poet. Biography of Oscar Niemeyer. Names given is Oscar Rodero de Almeida Niemeyer. He was born on December 15, 1970 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and then he died on 5th December 2012 on his age of 112. Niemeyer was most famous for his use of abstract form and curve, and he is a famous Brazilian architect considered to be one of the key features in the development of modern architecture. Also the best known for his design of a civic building for Brasilia, a planned city that's become Brazil's capital in 1960. His exploration of the aesthetic possibility of reinforced concrete was highly influential in the late 20th and early 21st century. Life and career of Oscar. He pursued his passion at the National School of Fine Art in Rio de Janeiro and graduated with a Bachelor in Architecture in 1934. After graduating, he worked in his father's typography house. Even though he was not financially stable, he insisted on working in the architecture studio of Luigi Costa with Gregory and Carlos Leo. Philosophy of Oscar Niemeyer. One of his philosophy, he said, he's not attracted to straight angle or to the straight line, because he is attracted to free-following sensual curve, because the curve will make up the entire universe, the curve universe of instinct. And then the other word of him said is, his word is not about form follow function but form follow beauty, or even better, form follow feminine. A few design and ideology of Oscar Niemeyer is abstract form and curve, free-following sensual curve. His design were mainly of curved architecture and is famous for revolutionary use of concrete. His buildings are characterized by being spacious and exposed, mixing volume and empty space to create unconventional pattern, simple structure without much ornamentation. Here is a few designs that I would like to introduce by Oscar Niemeyer. One of it is the Cathedral of Brazil. The Cathedral of Brazil is the Roman Catholic cathedral serving Brasilia in Brazil. It was designed by Niemeyer and was completed and dedicated on May 31, 1970. This concrete framed hyperbolite structure seems, with its glass roof to be reaching up open to heavens. In the square access to the temple are 4 bronze sculptures with a 3 feet tall, representing the evangelist. Inside the nave are the sculptures of 3 angles suspended by steel cables. The dimension and weight of the carving are 2.22 meters long and the short one is 100 kg, 3.4 meters long and 200 kg. The average is 4.24 meters in length and most 300 kg. The baptistry was ovoid in shapes. Each piece is inserted into a triangle with a base 10 meters and were pointed. At the entrance of the cathedral is a pillar with a passage from the life of Mary, Mother of Jesus. Niemeyer saw a compact and clean concept, a volume occurring with the same purity from any perspective and for time of deep religious oppression. In the air born outside the sculpture of the earth is a cry of faith and a hope. Then the gallery is located in semi-darkness to prepare the faithful to snow. Here is a rectangular form finding of concept, the design building. Next design is the Natural Contemporary Art Museum. The Natural Contemporary Art Museum is situated in the city of Niterói, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and is one of the city's main landmarks. It was completed in 1996. Designed by Niemeyer with the assistance of structural engineer Bruno Contarini, who had worked with Niemeyer on earlier projects. The magnitude is 60 meters high. Its cupola has a diameter of 50 meters with 3 floors. This design building shows a wide access loop leads to a hall of exposition which has a capacity for 60 people. 2 doors is lead to the viewing gallery through which can be seen the Guanabara Bay, the Rio de Janeiro and Sugarloaf Mountain. And this building is show the structural element of the saucer shapes. Here is a conceptual drawing by Oscar.
Here is a floor plan and a sectional of art museum. Based on architecture for this design is mostly made of white paint reinforced concrete. The museum is divided into 4 levels connected by a spiral stair. The partially sunken basement contains a storage area, a cafe, a restaurant, and a small 54-seat auditorium. The first floor accommodates the museum lobby and administration office. The second floor houses 5 medium-sized exhibition rooms and a 393 square meter double-height exhibition hall. Finally, the third floor, which is topped by a circular dome with a diameter of 50 meters, 164 feet, contains nearly 700 square meters of exhibition space divided into 5 galleries, 2 panoramic prominent, each bordered by a continuous ribbon window on the outer side, crowned on the perimeter of the second and third level, providing spectacular view over the bay and the city.
The next design building is Oscar Niemeyer's Cultural Center. The Oscar Niemeyer International Cultural Center is the result of the combination of cultural complex designed by Brazilian architect Niemeyer and an international cultural project. The center is located in Asturias in Spain. It was inaugurated on 26 May 2011. The style and the color of this building is the main features in the Niemeyer's work are the curve. The color are also features with mainly white, red, yellow, and blue. The Niemeyer Center is formed by 5 elements that complement on each other: the open sky, the auditorium, the dome, the tower, and the multipurpose. First is a multipurpose building. This multipurpose building with an aesthetic in which the straight line dominates displays fulfills the function of visually connecting the 2 large elements of the architectural ensemble, the auditorium and the dome. It houses the cinema room, meeting and conference space, the cafeteria, the store, bookstore, and the customer service area. Second is auditoriums. This building is one of the most outstanding elements of architectural complex. It reaches 26 meters in height and has a capacity of close to 1,000 people. Third, a dome. The dome is an open space of approximately 4,000 square meters for exhibition and artistic activity of various kinds. It is a semi-sphere made of shotcrete, inside which a rounded lamp designed by Oscar Niemeyer himself stand out, as well as imposing helical staircase of a great plastic value. Square. Oscar Niemeyer proposed this space of 22,000 square meters with a vocation for social openness. It is a place of connection with the environment, open to the public, and intended for recreational and cultural activities. A great square open to all men and women in the world, like a Greek theatre box over the estuary and the old city in his own work. The tower. It is constitutes a viewpoint of the estuary and the city of above. At a 20 meters height, it has an external helical access that hung on a base column to reach the upper element of this surrounded by windows. Here is a site plan and auditorium elevation for Culture Center. And then here is a sections building for auditoriums, exhibition halls, and sightseeing tower. The lastly is conclusion and learning of Oscar Niemeyer. Here is a viewpoint of him is how he's creating, how he's designing, and how he's thinking. First is how he's used a structure without much ornamentation and how molding the reinforced concrete into many contemporary forms. He also not restricting to traditional straight line because he is attracted to the free following of the curve, and his work of philosophy is form-following feminist. He shows how he's creating a space in such a way that it has a large open space for interaction of people, and then he used edge of a bright color only to highlight some important part of the design, and the last one is the designing the structure in such a way that it doesn't affect the surrounding natural features. What I learned from the design of him is, as a good architect, he should improve the standard of living and thinking of his residents, poor in its design, the poor attitude of the people living in the area.